Hello, friends. I'm Renu, life coach. Have you ever wondered why we have so many conflicts and disputes with the people in our circle, and what can be the solution that can be offered to this? Actually, when we are in close proximity of people in our lives, we tend to know much about them, in fact, everything about them. And that's how we understand what they're thinking and how they're feeling. And probably that's the reason why we tend to find them loving at times and at times filled with kindness and warmth. And there are times when they're filled with jealousy and prejudice. At times they're magnanimous and sometimes they're petty even. Now, it's very, very important for us to understand that we must give each individual the possibility to grow, or to rather flower into a beautiful being, and we must allow them to give a fresh start. There's a very, very nice, in fact, it's quite scientific in terms of our culture, that when the sun is in the northern rise, it's important to harvest, and it's the good time to harvest, but no harvesting can be done until and unless the crops are being cut down first. This is a very beautiful incident, as I've mentioned earlier, in Ramayana, and of course the entire life of Lord Ram is inspiring, but we find that after waging a war and winning the battle with Ravan, Lord Ram decided to go to Himalayas and offer his repentance for committing the crime of killing Ravan. Now, this astonished everybody, from his subjects to even his own brother Lakshman. And Ram replied that to kill Ravan, it was essential to cut his all 10 heads which he possessed. And out of the 10 heads that were cut down by him, the 10th head was the head full of wisdom and huge intellect and a lot of pity. And in fact, he was a great devotee of Lord Shiv. And that's the reason Ram offered to go for repentance. And this is something which is very, very lovely and very inspiring. That out of all the evil deeds that Ravan had committed, Ram chose to pick only the best part of Ravan, and he looked at the positives of Ravan, even when he had committed so much crime against Lord Ram. Now, in the similar way, we all individuals also have 10 heads, though they are not visible, and that's like a complete blessing in disguise, where it doesn't become so scarier for people to look at us or for us to look at them. But then we do have our heads of love and our heads of warmth and our heads of compassion and our heads of annoyance and our heads of jealousy, heads of prejudices. Now, it's quite possible for all the heads to be seen by the other on one single day itself. Now, the wider the distance between our acknowledgement of seeing the positives in the other person, the more difficult it becomes for the person to acknowledge there is something good in them. It's very similar to, like, if you go to a rose garden and you see the rose plant there, you'll find number of thorns are more there in comparison to the number of flowers there. If we still call it as a rose plant, we don't call it as a plant of thorns. If you go to a mango tree, you find that there are a number of leaves which are outnumbering the number of fruits, but we still know the tree as a mango tree. The sweetness of the fruit does the magic. Similarly, each individual has one drop of sweetness in him or her. It is for us to extract this sweetness and to acknowledge and accept this sweetness and allow the person to meet this best version of theirs. Because until and unless we do this, we will keeping this person distant from this better version of theirs. If we go to the mine to dig a diamond, in fact, the diggers there, they do not go there with the mindset of going and digging the dust over there. They go there with the mindset of finding the diamond. Let's do that in the same way in our lives, in our transaction with others. When we find them, when we talk to them, when we communicate with them, let's find, or in our dealings with them, let's find their positives and make them aware of those positives. Now, when we are within the close confines of our home, we find that there's a lot of dispute happening. Let's have compassion towards the people in our lives, because it's it's going to be the changing factor of our life and their life as well. How does an individual come across compassion towards the people with whom they are having a lot of fights and disputes? We just have to look into the kind of struggles they have been through in their life and how they have been resilient, and how and what makes them still stand so tall. So once you have compassion within yourself, automatically what springs from compassion is love and warmth. And when you extend that to the members within your closer context, you'll be allowing them and giving them the opportunity and the possibility to outgrow their negatives and see the positives themselves. What you see in others will be reflected in yourself. Now, I do not mean to say you completely overlook all the negatives that they have in their personality, but still focus only on the positives. Acknowledge that. Now, contributing to the world peace is a very, very bigger term, but we all can do that if we start doing it from our home. If we bring peace to people in our lives and within ourselves, and if each home takes this pledge to contribute to peace for their family and their home and their members, then possibly, quite possibly, we'll have peace on a larger scale and at a global level as well. So let's give it a fresh start to ourselves and to others and change this world to be a better place, full of peace. Thank you.